Sleaze time. Let's go, Fram.
Barnes, I know you and I are familiar with a stunt going wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like the time, we got in trouble for putting OJ on the air. We're familiar with that. When something backfires on you, correct?
Correct.
Well, a little PR stunt that Ed Sheeran just did was called Straight Up Embarrassing. This story...
Wait. He got in trouble?
Well, let's just say that people are not happy about what just happened.
Whoa.
Over the weekend, he made an appearance at a Starbucks in Seattle.
Right.
He had the green apron, he was doing his little shift at a Starbucks, talking about the new fall menu, promoting his upcoming album, Autumn Variations.
Sure.
Remember we played that audio of him talking about autumn, in the UK? Well, unfortunately for Ed Sheeran, who had previously pulled a shift at this Winer Circle in Chicago Starbucks, I think he probably should have done a little bit more research. It turns out that this Starbucks location has been the target of various union busting tactics. Got the attention of the Starbucks Workers Union. Yes, this is like the worker-led unionizing. They called him out on Twitter. Wasn't very good. It said Ed Sheeran working a shift at Starbucks store in Seattle facing massive union busting is straight up embarrassing. Yes. Before urging him to do better, the workers' union provided further insight on why this was really disappointing. Not to mention almost every worker you see in that photo wearing a green apron is management, not baristas. Meanwhile, the workers at the Starbucks store down the street were drowning because they were grossly understaffed due to hour cuts. I mean, it was kind of a simple thing that he did, and now there's a huge backlash.
It's like the star student getting in trouble.
I know.
That's rare.
I mean, he was at the Lego store. There was no problem there.
Dude's probably mortified because he's got just such the happy-go-lucky vibe everywhere he goes. Now the union's after him.
Who would have thought that? Guess what's canceled after one season?
Give me a hint.
Lily Rose Depp.
Oh, Icon, was it called? What was it?
The Idol.
The Idol.
Yes, with The Weeknd, Abel Tesfaye, and Lily Rose Depp. Well, I thought this was really a nice way to say it wasn't coming back from HBO. The Idol is one of HBO's most provocative and original programs, and we're pleased by the strong audience response. After much thought and consideration, HBO, as well as the creators and producers, have decided not to move forward with the second season.
Doesn't surprise me, yeah.
Sad for the staff and the actors, but, I mean, the reviews were brutal, if you remember that.
The show was brutal.
Yeah, the show was brutal. An Australian woman is fighting for her life after she and her partner fell 33 feet from a medieval wall in Croatia, featured on Game of Thrones. So, obviously, they went to the site because of Game of Thrones, right? Both of the people were intoxicated at the time, reportedly. The woman has life-threatening injuries, including brain damage. They just interviewed this doctor on the local media in Australia. You see this happen all the time, where people want to recreate or go to a famous site. But can you imagine falling 33 feet?
No, and phones make us do stupid things, but the people that are trying to recreate, and think about how many selfie deaths there have been.
Yes.
Similar to these, they weren't even at a famous place. They were just at some, big overlook or a cliff, and then these people fall off.
You see these people on their honeymoon, and all of a sudden this tragedy happens.
Or there's datelines. There's a few datelines where the husband's like, here, I'll take your picture. Whoops. And, I mean, it's just photos and death have a long
unbelievable
running symmetry.
Over the weekend at the big stadium here, we've got that soccer stadium. Guns N' Roses with their little opening act, Barnes, Carrie Underwood. Check out Carrie and Axl Rose doing Sweet Child of Mine.
She sounds better than he does.
I'm telling you, this tour has been amazing. She's a rocker.
You know who would be good? If they want to get a new singer, they could put Kelly Clarkson in there and she could nail the hell out of those songs.
Well, Carrie certainly does.
Yeah, no, totally. Those two, their voices are so strong.
Miley Cyrus has a new song out called Used to Be Young. She says that she and her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, have wildly different experiences of fame because of the way they were brought up. She's got this new TikTok series inspired by her song Used to Be Young. She opened up about their relationship, her and her dad. You know, remember he had like one of the biggest songs ever in country in 1992 with Achy Breaky Heart. The year she was actually born. Check this out.
When I was born, my dad had the #1 country song. When I see the numbers, I just see the humans behind it enjoying the music. And I just see people in numbers. My dad grew up the opposite of me. So I think that's where me and my dad's relationship to fame and success is wildly different. Him feeling loved by a big audience impacted him emotionally more than it ever could me. When he feels special or important, it's like healing a childhood wound. And I've always been made to feel like a star. It makes me emotional. So I think that's the difference. It got me.
Yeah, all kidding aside, I would love to interview her.
I really like her. She's got such a great voice.
She's fascinating, and her choices have been interesting all through her career. At one point, she almost went down that Britney Spears road. It's even just publicly, at least. I don't know if that was a stunt or if that was, what was going on. But then she quickly, she changes so much.
She could sing anything. It's interesting too that, Billy Ray had that huge resurgence with Lil Nas X. Remember?
Yeah.
Old Town Road, and now he and his fiancée, Fire Rose, have a song out together. I'll bring that to you the next time, Barnes. I think you'd like to hear Billy and Fire Rose.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yes. Hey, Green Day's making a fashionable political statement for a good cause. They announced on Instagram that they're selling a new T-shirt featuring an updated version of their 1997 Nimrod album logo. This time with Donald Trump's mug being on the cover. It's like the cover, and then there's this yellow Nimrod sticker. Good riddance. The ultimate Nimrod shirt is available only 72 hours, by the way. They're selling it for $35, benefiting the Maui wildfire relief efforts. For a good cause. Go Green Day.
I love that word.
I saw the photo. You can see that on their Instagram. What word?
Nimrod. That's just a great word. Go out in the world today, try to use that at least once. Nimrod.
Use it in a sentence. Go. Yeah, we should do.
Yeah,
do that.
Just, at some point today, just freak everybody out and just be like, "Hey, what the hell, you Nimrod?"
You and I were texting about this because we got nervous. Elton John was hospitalized over the weekend after he slipped and fell at his home in the south of France. His reps have said he's back home and in good health. That really scared me. I know it scared you too.
Well, what's weird is it came through as an alert, but by the time the alert came out, like breaking news, he was already home and fine.
Glad he's okay. He slipped.
It was unnecessary, and an example of how the media will use something like Elton John to get eyeballs. That was not necessary. I mean, do you agree? Like, there was breaking news.
I do, because you sent me the alert, and then I saw it on another site, and I was like panicking, like, and then nothing.
Right, and because that's normally the beginning of the end. The falls start happening, and bad things start happening to older people. But yeah, he was already back home and in good condition. It's like, gosh, guys.
Don't scare us, news media. All right, the Super Bowl is taking place in Vegas. The governor, Joe Lombardi, wants AC/DC to do the halftime show. He says, quote, "I'm serious. Bring them back." What do you think about that?
I think that would be awesome if they could pull that off.
Come on, that would be incredible.
We'll see.
Sidebar here, who do you think should play the halftime show? It's such a hot topic because, you never win. Usually, like, after the halftime show, you go on Twitter or X, and people either love it or hate it. You can never win.
That's because it has gone super pop, I think, in the last several years.
Right.
I mean, who do you roll out there now? I mean, Kiss has done it before. They're passé. I mean, they've done it.
I still think, Ed Sheeran said he wouldn't do it, but I still think he'd be great. He's playing stadiums and arenas, and why not?
He's kind of right that he doesn't have the pizzazz, though. What about Foo Fighters?
They would be amazing.
What about, like, Chili Peppers? Is that still relevant?
I think our listeners should weigh in. Who would you pick for the Super Bowl halftime show to perform?
What if you had, like, Journey with with Steve Perry?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, like a special reunited. I think something needs to ramp it up a notch.
Like what they do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where, bands will reunite that are getting honored. I see what you're going there. I actually like that.
Jack White would be interesting.
Oh, he would be so amazing. I don't think he would do it, though.
You could do an Eras, not Taylor Swift. You could do an Eras thing with him where if you could get a little piece of each of his bands, you know how they like to do the vignette thing? I'm just trying to think outside the box.
Shania, has she done it?
I don't know.
Well, let's get some opinions on the Super Bowl halftime show. That's your Celebrity Sleaze.
This is The Morning X. Get in touch. Hi at themorningx.com. Barnes and Leslie. The Morning X on 99X.